Hot mic moment, you guys. Vice President Kamala Harris gets caught with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer admitting that she has a major problem in her campaign. And, well, we got the video for you guys. Watch.
Moment at a campaign stop in Michigan appears to have caught Vice President Harris admitting to Governor Gretchen Whitmer that her campaign has an issue that they're working on with male voters. Listen.
Yeah. Oh, we have microphones and I was listening to everything. I didn't realize that.
Well, there you have it, you guys. It definitely sounds like former President Donald Trump has got the Democratic nominee on the ropes. You want to know where those male voters are? Well, it looks like a lot of them are actually lined up for the Trump mega rally at Madison Square Garden. Watch.
And when Trump becomes president, there's going to be peace, there's going to be prosperity, and America first, not no one else first. No one else first. America first. And I want Kamala to know, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. A lot of Arabs are voting for Trump. Michigan is in Trump's hands. But we're going to vote for Trump because Trump came, he talked to us, he discussed with us, and he's going to bring peace to the Middle East. He's going to end the war in the Middle East, and he's going to throw you out of the White House.
Yo, it's New York in play. It's New York in play.
And let me just tell you, I'm here right now because we got to make America great again. We need Trump back in the House. We need the hostages back. We need Mashiach now. We need the hostages back. We need a good economy.
Exactly.
We need no more wars. Kamala Harris keeps on flip-flopping. We know for a fact that everybody was better in 2016, in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 under Donald J. Trump than they are now. Inflation sky high under Trump. It was 1.9%. We need Trump back in office.
Trump protects the Jews.
We need the wall
Trump
built.
protects
We need the illegal aliens that are taking our money, our taxpayer money, out of the country. We need a president that's strong. Sometimes peace comes through strength. And we look through history, politically, being nice doesn't always work. Sometimes you got to be strong, stand up to the plate, and say it with power. And that's why we need Trump back in office.
Middle Eastern Americans, Jewish Americans, white Americans, black Americans, everybody was there as nearly 20,000 MAGA diehards flooded Madison Square Garden in New York City on Sunday for former President Donald Trump's sold-out rally. In fact, they even had to turn away tens of thousands of people as the arena reached its capacity, with scores of Trump supporters spilling into nearby bars just to watch. It was an epic night, guys. The rally featured appearances by several celebrities, including Hulk Hogan, Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and even Tucker Carlson. Former First Lady Melania Trump even introduced her husband to the roaring crowd. The rally's turnout definitely sent a message to the Democratic Party. The American people, they want change. And remember what Kamala Harris said? She said she couldn't think of anything that she would change from what Biden did as president. Oh, also her admitting that her values haven't changed. That too. Meaning more DEI woke propaganda if Kamala Harris gets her way. Well, as Dr. Phil said in the Madison Square Garden rally, this country was built on hard work, not on DEI. Watch.
We have to stop this now. It's time that we push back against cancel culture. It's time that we push back against intimidation tactics. And that is exactly the reason that I launched Merit Street Media, which, by the way, we didn't choose the name for that by random. Merit Street Media. This country was built on hard work, added value, and talent, not on equal outcome, not on DEI. This country was built on hard work, and it needs to continue to be built on hard work.
Billionaire entrepreneur and legal immigrant Vivek Ramaswamy, he spoke about DEI as well and how America is ready to turn the page with a Trump presidency.
Answer, what does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. It means we believe in merit, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color, that you get ahead in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That's why we're done with the woke DEI agenda, bringing in meritocracy to America. It means we believe in the rule of law, and I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law, and that is why if we've had the largest influx of illegals into this country in American history, we will have the largest mass deportation in American history. That is not racist, or xenophobic. That is what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States of America. It means we believe in self-governance, that the people we elect to run the government, for God's sake, ought to be the ones who actually run the government, not unelected bureaucrats in the deep state that are running the show today. So you want another mass deportation? Let's get 3 million federal bureaucrats out of the D.C. bureaucracy. That's the mass deportation that saves the country. What does it mean to be American? It means we have elections we can trust and believe in, and that means single-day voting on Election Day as a national holiday with paper ballots and government-issued ID to match the voter file. That's how we save the country after we win it this time by voting early. These are not black ideas or white ideas. They are American ideals that set this country into motion. We're in a war to revive them, and right now we need the commander-in-chief who will lead us to victory. That is your next president, Donald J. Trump.
And of course, we cannot forget about former President Donald Trump himself calling the elites and the mainstream media for what they are. They are the enemy from within.
But we're just not running against Kamala. I think a lot of our politicians here tonight know this. She means nothing. She's purely a vessel. That's all she is. When you see her up there talking about the grass on my front lawn, I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood and I had grass on my front lawn. Yeah, but we're asking, what would you do to fix the country? And why didn't you do it yet? Almost 4 years. Why didn't you do this stuff? Now she's, she's becoming more MAGA than those politicians I just told you about from the different states. She can't put two sentences together. She's just like, she's really just like, in many ways, crooked Joe Biden. And she never said to us, she never told us that Joe was not functioning properly. She should have. Because, we're talking about the life of the most important country in the world. We need very smart people. We're running against something far bigger than Joe or Kamala, and far more powerful than them, which is a massive, vicious, crooked, radical left machine that runs today's Democrat Party. They're just vessels. In fact, they're perfect vessels because they'll never give them a hard time. They'll do whatever they want. I know many of them. It's just this amorphous group of people. But they're smart and they're vicious. And we have to defeat them. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes a sound. Oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. But this is who we're fighting. These are the people who are doing such harm to our country with their open border policies, record-setting inflation, Green News scam, and everything else that they're doing. But we're not going to let it happen any longer. We're going to have the biggest victory in the history of our country on November 5th. It's going to be the biggest victory in history. We're going to make America great again, everybody.
Now, of course, mainstream media, they were quick to label Donald Trump's words as attacks. That's what they do, par for the course. But come on, guys, we know what he's really telling us about the truth about the current career politicians. Let's be real. For a very long time now, these Washington fat cats, they haven't been working for the people who they're supposed to be serving, have they? Now, here's conservative commentator Tucker Carlson to really bring the message home. Watch.
Donald Trump has made it possible for the rest of us to tell the truth about the world around us. And that's the single most liberating thing you can do for people. If you want to enslave people, if you want to degrade them, force them to tell lies. And they have. They forced us to lie about everything at gunpoint, effectively. They put people in prison for refusing to lie. And not just the obvious lies that men can become women or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was an insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y. Not even the obvious ones, but the big lie. You know what the big lie is? The big lie is that they're impressive. That's what the big lie is. That the people in charge have somehow earned the right to rule over you, and they haven't. And you know that. These are the single most useless people in the United States. They have no skills whatsoever. They've got 3/4 of the money and they didn't earn it. They set up a system precisely for the purpose of awarding themselves wealth and power when it's undeserved. You look at Liz Cheney and you ask yourself honestly, what skill could she possibly have that allowed her to send hundreds of thousands of people to their deaths? Did she earn that? I don't think she did. No fair system would make Liz Cheney powerful. No fair system would make Larry Fink rich. No fair system would elevate someone like Kamala Harris to a presidential nomination. She's never been accused of doing anything useful. She has precisely no achievements. She's a nominee without getting a single vote. She is a metaphor for the system they created to make themselves rich and powerful, and then they have the gall to lecture you, the people who can actually change a flat tire and repair a power grid, who have useful jobs, who pay your taxes and work 40 hours a week, lecture you that you are somehow immoral. And Donald Trump has empowered the rest of us through mostly just sticking around in the face of their hate and abuse and persecution. He has given the rest of us the right to call BS on the charade. No, you are not better than us. No, you are not smarter than us. No, you do not deserve what you have. You probably stole it. No, you're not going to bully me into silence anymore.
I mean, if it wasn't clear before, it's pretty clear, if not more obvious now. Kamala Harris seems to just be an empty suit. So yeah, thank you, Tucker Carlson. You're right as usual. Not to mention she's also the vice president without getting a single task done since day one. No wonder RFK Jr. left the Democrats.
And I say, I don't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me. This is not the party anymore of Martin Luther King, of Robert Kennedy, of John Kennedy. That was the party of peace. It was the party of constitutional rights, of civil rights, of freedom of speech. It was the party that wanted to protect and nurture the middle class. It was the party that stood up to censorship, to surveillance, that stood up to the CIA, to the military-industrial complex. And it was the party that wanted to protect public health and women's sports. My uncle, Ted Kennedy, wrote Title IX, which protected women's sports in college. It was the party that believed in voting rights and fought for the right of every American to vote for the person of their choice. Today's Democratic Party is the party of war. It's the party of the CIA. You had Kamala Harris giving a speech at the Democratic Convention that was written by neocons, that was belligerent, pugnacious, that talked about the domination of the world by the United States through our weapons of war. It's the party today that wants to divide Americans. It's the party that is dismantling women's sports by letting men play women's sports.
And that's coming from a former Democrat, by the way. So I guess you guys pretty much get the picture of the whole Madison Square Garden rally and why Kamala Harris is worrying her you-know-what off over the state of the race. Trump 2024 campaign advisor Daniel Alvarez described it this way. Madison Square Garden is iconic. Everybody dreams of playing Madison Square Garden. And President Trump is iconic. This is also his hometown. This is his city. His fingerprints are all over the New York skyline. You've seen that theme all throughout the camp where they visited the Harlem Bodega, the South Bronx rally, the union workers. And so he was really delivering that closing argument at Madison Square Garden. So what do you guys think? Do you feel like Donald Trump brought home the bacon with that Madison Square Garden super rally? Drop a quick yes in the comments down below, guys. Hit the like button to show your support. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Totally appreciate you guys. Again, we're trying to hit 700,000 subs by November 5th. I know we can do it, so appreciate you guys. But man, I really wish that I could have been there in Madison Square Garden to literally be present for the rally. Donald Trump, he took the stage at Madison Square Garden just after 7 p.m. in the packed stadium. From there, he focused his speech on spiraling immigration, inflation woes, and looking toward the future with lower consumer costs and securing the border. And from what I heard, the Trump mega rally was sold out within hours of being announced this month, and that is with Madison Square Garden having a capacity of 19,500 people. And guess what, guys? All of those people stayed for Trump. Some of the things he said: death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer, and he will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. Our former president promised the MSG crowd that we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail, going to kick them the hell out of the country as fast as possible, and to expedite removals of Tren de Agua and other savage gangs like MS-13, which is equally vicious. He said that he will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. He's also planning on immediately banning sanctuary cities across the nation. This is his plan to take down Harris, who Donald Trump said was behind the most egregious betrayal of any U.S. leader due to immigration policies under the Biden-Harris administration. He talked about how the vice president violated her oath and unleashed an army of migrant gangs who and he's also going to be taking care of the economy and spiraling inflation by bringing back the American dream. His very clear promise, guys: he will terminate the Green New Scam and cut your energy prices in half, 50% within 1 year from January 20th. Something he said the fake news media at the rally would not tell the people. Other help that he's offering the American people: lowering costs for consumers as well as ending taxes on tips. That's right, guys, no tax on tips. Overtime, no tax, and security benefits. You heard that, guys? Even Social Security benefits. His rallying cry for the American people in Madison Square Garden: make America affordable again. Oh, and he even mentioned how Jews, Muslims, Catholics, and evangelicals, and even Mormons, they're all joining our cause in large numbers, larger than anyone has ever seen in this country before, larger than they've ever seen in any country. Trump described his supporters as a big, powerful party, and the other side, they're losing it. They're really losing it. Billionaire CEO Elon Musk, he was there wearing his all-black MAGA hat during the rally, which he called Dark Gothic MAGA. He said he's ready to be Trump's secretary of cost-cutting and vowed that the first thing that he would do if Trump wins the election is to cut government spending. Oh man, I cannot wait to see that if this happens. And by the looks of things, we're already off to a very good start. Voting figures from North Carolina, one of the key battleground states that could determine this whole race, it shows that despite the severe impact of Hurricane Helene, more than 200,000 votes have already been cast in counties that traditionally lean Republican. Now, that's a huge win for the Trump campaign. In fact, early voting in North Carolina set a statewide record of over 350,000 ballots cast on October 17th, meaning probably even more voters for former President Donald Trump. In fact, the latest figures show over 2.8 million ballots have been cast in North Carolina, which represents 36% of the registered voters population in the state. So definitely looking forward for a big win in NC. But an even bigger win for him probably would have to be Wisconsin, one of the so-called blue wall states, together with Michigan and Pennsylvania, that Harris has to win. But they're not sure that she will. A USA Today Suffolk University poll found Donald Trump and Kamala Harris neck and neck in Wisconsin, 48 to 47% respectively, from a statewide poll of 500 likely voters. Sure enough, the razor-thin results fell within the margin of error of 4.4 percentage points. Seriously, guys, this could easily flip back to Donald Trump this election. Wisconsin is one of 3 Rust Belt states that voted for Donald Trump in 2016, then flipped back to Democrats in 2020. President Joe Biden won the state by just 20,682 votes, or 0.7 points. In Wisconsin, which is defined by its white working class population, like other competitive Midwestern states, 58% of the state's voters are white without a college degree. That is 15 points higher than the national electorate, and that is a demographic that usually leans toward Trump. Plus, Trump's favor among men, showing Donald Trump ahead 18 percentage points over Harris, 56 to 38%. So yeah, are we going to see this blue wall crumble next month, guys? Signs are pointing to yes. Honestly, guys, I would not be surprised if Trump wins by a landslide in all the swing states, the three mentioned plus Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada. He's done it before, winning 306 to Hillary Clinton's 232 electoral votes. He was even able to break each and every one of the three blue wall states. Man, that would be crazy if he does it again. What do you guys think? Are you feeling confident about a Trump landslide in a few days? Well, it can't happen if you don't vote, so make sure you make it a priority today to get out there and vote. Drop a quick yes or no in the comments down below if you think that this is going to be a Trump landslide in a few days. I mean, we're just a quick hop, skip, and a jump away from the most important election of our lives. Don't miss 1 second of it, guys. Subscribe to the channel now. Tap that notification bell right after it. We are definitely working overtime, pumping out the updates for you guys in this run up to the election. In fact, we just dropped a new video talking about Obama flipping out over Kamala Harris, losing yet another endorsement in this election. Make sure you check that video out next. It's coming right up. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.